All right, so I'm going to go through all of your word problems, and I may not do every single one of these on um, your note template. I will do a great deal of them, but I may not do every single one because there are quite a few to get through in this video. Okay. Once we start the process, there are 3 sections. There's just the first one, which we're finding 2 numbers, one larger, one smaller, something like that. The second one is perimeter problems, and the third one are consecutive integers. Okay, we treated them all separately in class, but this is one video combining them all together for you to watch at home. Okay. All right, so we're going to start off by defining our variables. So like, for instance, in the first one, we have the larger of 2 numbers and the smaller. So our 2 variables are the larger and the smaller. Okay, y'all, I will always make whatever comes after my than my x. So for this one, I'm going to make the smaller number my x. And they are comparing the larger number to the smaller number. So they're saying the larger number is 4 more than the smaller number. So I would take the smaller number and add 4 to it. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so now we're going to keep reading, and it says the sum of the numbers. So remember, we talked about sum meaning plus. So we're going to add these together, and that's going to equal, they're going to give us that in the problem, 74. And now we're just going to simplify. We're going to combine like terms. And we're going to solve. So this is a 2-step equation. Remember, we taught y'all over and over again about how 2-step equations are a great deal of what you need. So I have 2x equals 70. So when I divide by 2, x is going to equal 35. So my small number is 35. And then to get my large number, I'm going to go back in here and plug in 35 for x. And that makes my large number 39. Okay. Number 2. The larger of 2 numbers is 7 less than 3 times the smaller number. So again, the one that's at the end is my x. So the small number is going to be my x. And the large number is going to be 7 less than 3 times the smaller one. So remember, if it's less than or more than, it's a flipper. So we're going to go to the back. So the 7 less than is going to go at the back, minus 7. And 3 times the smaller number is 3x. Again, it says here the sum. So we're going to add these together. And that equals 61. Combine your like terms and solve your equation. So x is going to equal 17. Now, once you get that one, we're going to plug it back in. So you got to plug it back in. A lot of people are just trying to take away 7. No, you got to plug into the whole thing. So 3 times 17 minus 7. 3 times 17 is 51, and 51 minus 7 is going to give me 44. Okay, so the small was 17 and the large was 44. Okay, so like for number 3 here, I'm going to go through it not entirely. I'm going to set up your symbols, okay, and set up your equation, but then if you want to try to do the math, you can to get that. Okay, so number 3, again, the larger of two numbers is 1 more than 4 times the smaller. So our small, again, is x, and therefore our large is 1 more than 4 times. So 4x plus 1. So when you add those together, you're going to get 5x, because it says the sum is 106. So you're going to get 5x plus 1 equals 106. Okay, and if you were to solve that out, your two numbers would be 21 for the small and 85 for the large. Okay, and again, I've done 2, so I'm going to skip number 3. Sorry, you couldn't see that very well. Okay, as far as doing the work, but you should be able to solve a 2-step equation. And these are your final answers. All right, so let's look at number 4. Okay, the larger of two numbers is twice the smaller number. So we're going to start there. So the smaller number, again, is x, and the larger is twice the smaller. So that means the large is just 2x. But now we've got to read the next line. It says if 12 is subtracted from the larger. So I'm going to take the larger and minus 12 from it. The result is means equals 7 more than, so plus 7 goes at the back, the smaller number. So 12 was subtracted from the larger. The result was 7 more than the smaller. Okay, so this is a variables on both sides equation. That's why I wanted to work this one out. So your x is 19. So our small is 19. And then we're going to plug that in. 2 times 19 gives me 38 for my large. Okay, number 5. The highest score on an algebra test was 42 points more than the lowest. So we're going to let our low be x and our high be x plus 42. When added together, so add those together, 2x plus 42 is going to equal 154. Again, that's a 2-step equation. I'm going to let you solve that out. It's going to give you a low score of 56, and then you go back in and add the 42 to that to give you a high score of 98. Okay? Lots of word problems, so I'm not going to go through all of them entirely. All right? Next page. All right, Garrett has $1 less than 3 times as much money as Liz. Together they have 179. Okay, so we got 2 people here. So remember, the last one is going to be our x. So Liz is going to be our x, and therefore Garrett is $1 less than 3 times as much. So that's 3x minus 1. Together means we're going to add, so that's 4x minus 1 is equal to 179, and y'all, you just solve from here. 2-step equation. So x is 45. So that means Liz has $45, but it didn't ask for Liz. It asked for Garrett. So we have to go back in and do 3 times 45, which is 135, minus 1 means Garrett has $134. Now that one only asked for 1. All right. Buffalo Bills scored 24 more than twice the number of points that the Miami Dolphins scored. So our Miami Dolphins are X, and the Buffalo Bills are 24 more than twice the number that the Dolphins had. So 2x plus 24. All together means we add that together and set it equal to 66. Solve from here. So the Dolphins had 14 points. And then we're going to plug in 2 times 14, which is 28. And 28 plus 24 is going to give me 52 points for the Bills. All right, last one of these in the first set. Okay, there are 10 less red Skittles than orange Skittles. So orange Skittles is going to be our X. And if there's 10 less than that, then that means red is X minus 10. The orange Skittles are also twice the number of the red Skittles. So the orange X are same as is twice the number of red. So 2 times X minus 10. Distribute there. All right, and then we're going to move and rearrange. So negative X equals negative 20. So X is 20. So our orange is 20. And our red would be 20 minus 10, which is 10. Okay, so that was kind of the find the numbers, comparing there. Now, we talked about perimeter next of a rectangle. So remember, perimeter of a rectangle, perimeter is where we add up all the sides. Rectangle, we have opposite sides that are the same. So remember, I started every one of these problems by drawing a rectangle, and I'm going to label it. Okay, so obviously the length of a rectangle is 6 inches more than its width. So our width is our X, it's what goes at the end. And 6 more than that would be X plus 6. Knowing what we know about rectangles, we know that opposite sides are the same, so I'm going to label it like such. And then for perimeter, we're going to add all the sides. So I'm going to add X, X plus 6, another X, and another X plus 6, and set that equal to 24. Combine like terms, which takes us to a two-step equation. So X is 3, and X is representing our width. So our width was 3. Now to find the length, you have to plug in. So right here we know X plus 6 is our length. So 3 plus 6, which is 9, is going to be our length. All right, moving right along. The length of a rectangle is 5 inches more than 4 times the width. So again, the width is X. 5 inches more than 4 times is going to be 5 inches more than 4 times. Opposite sides are the same. All right, I'm going to show you a different way to add them up, and I talked about this in class. This is kind of the way that you've added in the past in elementary school and so forth, is where you stacked. So remember, there's understood ones here, so I'm just going to add together 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10x, and then 5 and 5 gives me plus 10. So I have 10x plus 10 is going to equal, and it tells you what it equals in the problem again. This one was 24, this one down here is 90. And we're going to solve. So x is 8, which is our width. And then we plug in 4 times 8 minus 5. 4 times 8 is 32 minus 5. Oh, plus 5, sorry. Plus 5. Plus 5 is 37. So our width was 8 and our length was 37. Okay. Number 11. Again, our width is x, and then we've got 3 less than twice. So 3 less than twice is going to be 2x minus 3. So another way to add, I'm just going to walk around. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6x minus 6 is going to equal 18. Again, that's given to you in the problem. So x is 4. So our width is 4. And then we're going to do 2 times 4, which is 8. And 8 minus 3 is 5 for our length. Okay. All right, let's keep moving along. A couple more of these. Again, I'm just going to kind of set them up. I'll get it down to a 2-step, and then I'll give you the answer, and you can kind of do that work for me. Okay. Again, our width is going to be x, and then we've got 7 inches more than that, so that's x plus 7. The perimeter, so we're going to add up all the sides, which is 4x plus 14 is equal to 66. That's a 2-step. You subtract your 14. Again, I'm not going to do all that for you. Divide, and you should get that the width here is 13, and then we're going to do 13 plus 7, which makes your length 20. All right, and the last one of these, your width is x again. 5 less than twice means 2x minus 5. Add those up, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6x minus 10 is going to equal 56. And that's another 2-stepper. 6x equals 66. You're going to divide by 6. So that's going to give you a width of 11. And then 2 times 11 is 22. Minus 5 gives me a length of 17. Okay, so y'all should be able to look through those and follow along there as well. All right, so our last section was kind of the more difficult section. Okay, it was consecutive integers or consecutive numbers in general. All right, consecutive we talked about meant one after another. So we talked about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are consecutive days, or 6, 7, 8 are consecutive numbers, and so forth. January, February, March are consecutive months. So for consecutive numbers such as 2, 3, and 4, our symbols are going to be x, x plus 1, x plus 2, and so forth. In other words, if you start at 2, which is our x, if you add 1, you get to 3. If you add 2 from 2, you get to 4. Okay? For even, you're still going to start at x, but each time you have to add 2. Okay? And here it gets confusing. It's the same for odd. You start with x, you're adding 2. You're not adding anything odd there. People kind of tend to forget that, and they try to use odd numbers when it says odd. All right, so here we go. Sum means add of 2 consecutive numbers is 23. So our numbers are going to be x and x plus 1 because they are consecutive, not even or odd. Okay, sum means we're going to add these together, which is going to give me 2x plus 1, and that equals 123. This is a 2-step. Everybody should be good there. So 61 is my first number. And then the next number after 61, y'all, I use common sense here. You can go back and add 61 plus 1 is 62, but I know the next number after 61 is 62. Okay? The sum of 2 consecutive numbers is 85. So again, sum, we're just consecutive, so that's x and x plus 1. Add those together, and that equals 85. 2-step that. X is 42. So the next number after 42 is 43. You can always pause my videos, y'all. Sometimes it's good to pause after the problem just to make sure you've got everything written down, because I do talk fast, I work fast, especially when I'm doing a video like this and there's nobody in here to respond to me. And it's just me working through the problems, okay? All right, this one does have even. All right, so remember, for even it's going to be x and x plus 2. And again, the sum is 54. So 2x plus 2 equals 54. So I get that x equals 26. Now, 26 is my first one. The next even number after 26 is 28. If you want to plug it in, it would be 26 plus 2, which is 28. I don't do that. I just count. Okay? The sum of two consecutive odd numbers. Okay, so again, we're summing and it's consecutive, but it's odd. There's still x and x plus 2. Add those together, and that equals 128. And you'll see that when I solve, I should get an odd number. Everybody likes to argue that I should have used 1 or 3 or something, but when you solve, you get 63, which is odd. And the next odd number up from 63 is 65. All right, so the next three, 18, 19, and 20, are doing the sum of 3. So that's fine. We're just going to have a third symbol. So 3 consecutive even is going to be x, x plus 2, and x plus 4. Add those together is 3x this time, plus 6 equals 138. Okay, if you can't do 132 divided by 3, then work it out. 3 into 13 goes 4 times. 3 into 12 goes 4 times, so it is 44. So 44 is my first. The next even number after 44 is 46. And the next even number after 46 is 48. All right. Again, 3 consecutive odd, x, x plus 2, and x plus 4. Add those together, and that is 57. And we're going to two-step that. So 17 is the first one, 19 is the next one, and 21 is the third one. All right, so we got 2 more. Now this one's a little bit different. Number 20 is a little bit different, and we didn't do 21 in class. So we'll talk about, I'll read through that one and do that one here as well, okay? Again, 3 consecutive numbers, x, x plus 1. It didn't say even or odd, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever we need, okay? So the sum of that, that's 3x plus 3, means equals 33 more than the smallest, which is x. X is always the smallest. So this one's a little different because it is a variables on both sides equation. You know how to solve that. Once you move that variable over, now it's just a two-step. So x is 15, so that's the smallest, and then 16 and 17 would be next. All right, in cross country, the team score is determined by the place each individual runner finishes. For example, if you finish first place, you get 1 point. 16th place is 16 points. In their latest meet, the boys cross country team scored 55 points, and there were 5 runners on the team. Each runner finished one after the other. Okay, so one after the other means the first person finished somewhere, So if he finished like 5th, the next person would be 6th. And we're going to keep going until we have 5 runners. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Add all of that up. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 X's. 1 and 2 is 3. 3 and 3 is 6. 6 and 4 is 10. And that's going to equal 55 points. So the first kid finished in 9th place. That means they finished 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th. Okay. Make sure you go back, rewind if you need to. Word problems are very important. They are a big part of your EOC. Okay.